prayer today. Next Monday is Memorial Day. All gave some, and some gave all. Dear Lord, it is a soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. First one was press. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier, not who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and those caught in straight by the flag. Amen.
Amen.
So on May 22nd, for the Commissioner's Office, I approved and executed the agreement with Chardon Area Chamber of Commerce for the use of the Geauga County parking lots located at 100 Short Court Street and East Park Street for the parking of classic cars and motorcycles during the annual Classic Car and Bike Show on Sunday, July 16, 2023, with a rain date of Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. And for the dog warden, I approved the promotion of Cindy Sedevy to the position of full-time Chief Deputy Dog Warden to be effective May 28, 2023, at the rate of $23.32 per hour with a 180-day probationary period.
Need a motion for minute approval for April 4th and the 31st of March.
Make that motion.
Second. Commissioner Wyatt?
Yes.
Aye.
The next item is a agreement with DB Cozy and Associates LLC, the surveying company, to perform the boundary survey on the square for the courthouse property as part of the Chardon agreement. They're deeding over the north end of the square to the county, so for the courthouse. So trying to get that done before we get in depth into the phase 2 expansion of the courthouse.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
The next item is the settlement agreement with the Board of Elections for the build out of their space in the basement. And specifically for paying, more specifically, for paying the legal counsel fees in the amount of $59,612.23.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning. Okay, today's financials include a supplemental increase from the Commissioner's Office and the Building Improvement Fund 24-hour area projects account for the Safety Center security cameras and installation. Among the encumbrances are a contract PO from the Commissioner's Office to McTeague and Colombo LLC for legal fees incurred by the Board of Elections, and contract PO from Community Development to ICP Geauga Lake LLC for the demolition and site revitalization of the old Geauga Lake property. Travel requests from JFS to attend the 2023 National Adult Protective Services Association Conference, and to accompany an independent living youth on a visit to the University of Cincinnati. There's a then and now from Water Resources to the Geauga County ADP Board for work that ADP is charging the department for their response to Water Resources server breach. And a purchase order from Water Resources to Junction Auto Sales Incorporated to purchase a 2023 Ram 1500 quad cab pickup truck. Among the vouchers are $74,082 from the auditor to Integrity Appraisal Services for the 2023 revals and new construction valuations, $394,775 from the Board of DD to Meyer Design Incorporated for the construction of their new playground, $73,178.63 from the Commissioner's Office of Geauga County Sheriff for the reimbursement of funds received from asset forfeiture, the proceeds of which were deposited into the general fund, and $161,666 from the Sheriff's Office to Motorola Solutions Incorporated for trunk 800 megahertz radio service and support. Last year, the amount was $140.49, so that's a little over 1% increase.
Adrian, you said 161.
141,666, sorry.
That's okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you.
7 is the planning commission requesting the board approve and execute the tall timber replat. Sublets 8 through 11, creating sublets 9R, 10R, and 11R in Bainbridge Township. So this was approved at the May 9th planning commission meeting. Not creating any new lots, it's a split and consolidation where 3 property owners own a landlocked parcel behind them. They are splitting it into thirds, and then each one of those thirds is being added onto their existing lot, consolidating it. And planning commission didn't have any objection, so it approved.
I make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Moving along, number 8, planning commission is requesting the board approve and execute Hutcherson Lakes Lake Development replat of sublots 151 through 154. It's creating a new sublot of 151R. It's located in Newberry Township. This is an older development in the township, and my understanding is the house burnt down, and then the property owner is in the process of consolidating the lots to rebuilding them. The consolidated total is .6867 acres, and it runs on Hotchkiss and Valley View Roads.
Okay.
I make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. All set, thank you. Morning.
Number 9, it may look familiar, we've been talking about this replacement for the last 2 years. We're trying to get it together, put the bids out, it's the microwave, it's the way the radio towers, there are 10 towers in the county, it's the way they talk to one another and maintain the public service radio for police departments, fire departments, everybody in the county. So that, it's a time that needs to be replaced, so we're ready to put it out to bid.
Sounds good. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
That's a hard act to follow. President employees. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you? I'm here today to request that you approve the hiring of Jeffrey Vajai as our new clerk. He is a really interesting guy. He's a bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in accounting and spent a career in bank auditing. But he wants to be our clerk. He swears he wants to be our clerk. And the best thing about him is he has a very pleasant and easygoing personality that will really help the staff. So we're excited to have him.
Great. How many applicants,
We got 5 applicants for this position. We got 7 for the administrative position. So we had a really good turnout.
Thanks for help, excellent.
I'll make that motion.
And second that.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Appreciate your help on that.
Greg?
Wow, you guys are moving fast.
How are you?
I got here.
You started right on time today, so.
We waited for you, so
Oh,
kept the door open for
how are you? So we're just asking you guys to execute the resolution of 23099, recognizing next month, June 2023 is Elder Abuse Awareness Month.
you. I so move.
Second that.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Any other fine details?
Well, just, it's just important to know that, while we have an amazing county that we, live in, it just knows to know that a lot of things that happen in the shadows, unfortunately, that we investigate with Job and Family Services, that we still have elder abuse, neglect, exploitation, usually average about anywhere between 15 and 20 investigations a month that your staff, not just my staff, your staff goes out and investigates and follows through on and ensures their safety. So it does happen in this county, even knowing, we live in an incredible place. So just want that awareness out there that we need to take care of our seniors. They've paid their dues, they've paid their taxes, as you guys know. They've lived their lives and they certainly deserve to live, in dignity, in their latter years of life. So just want to make that awareness to be well known.
No, appreciate what you do, thank you.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Couple of them. Number 12 here is to replace the boiler that does the heat sidewalks on the east side of the building. There's two separate boilers. This boiler is, I'm not sure how old, we might find exact records, so it's more than 20 years old. We went out and got 3 quotes for it. This by far was the best, and Nina Phillips has been great coming in and helping us figure out what we need. So we would like the board to approve the executive contract with McPhillips. They're going to disconnect, remove the old one, and install the new one, not to exceed the amount of $7,350.
Make that motion.
Second the motion.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes. When will that work be done?
That one, as soon as this is approved, he's going to order it. So hopefully in the next couple weeks it'll be done.
Okay. Great.
The next one is to execute and approve the contract with Lift Now Automotive. The one lift in our shop, it was the first one we put in there. It's rusted pretty bad, and it's been fixed several times. It's now time to replace it. We went out and got 3 quotes. This was the best. And I'm going to say the quickest they can actually do it, the fastest for us, which is great. So this is not to exceed $34,911.71.
Make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier? Thank you very much.
I have a couple of questions. How many lifts do you have?
2.
2. And the other one is good shape?
Better shape. In the next couple of years, we'll have to be looking at that one as well. But it's good for a few years yet. It's not, this one's getting pretty rusty. We repaired it a couple times. The other one's been better. There are a few years between, I want to say it's like 5 years between putting them in. So, and the next one we'll start with replacing the other one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to skip number 14 and go down to number 15, 16, and 17, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Number 15 is approval for payment number 28, Donnelly's Independence for this building in the amount of $571,047.50.
I make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner DeWitt?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
And number 16 is a settlement agreement between the commissioners and Donnelly's Independence for some non-conforming windows in this building, basically obtaining a decrease in the contract amount of about $140,000. There was nothing, it was a visual issue, not any kind of, leak or anything like that. So just a settlement for settling out the cost of the building with windows.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner DeWitt?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Okay, and then number 18 actually goes with that. That's just approving the change order that would reduce the cost by $140,000. Sorry, I should have done that at the same time.
That's right. That's it, yeah.
Still on the decreasing. Okay.
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner DeWitt?
Yes.
Commissioner
Aye.
You have 15 minutes. So you can continue to sign
Howard, you want to talk about your Liberty Camp while we got some time?
We'll have it this year.
Okay.
And
See, the
it's-
flyers are up here, I don't know.
Well, and I put them downstairs
We got
too.
Till 10 o'clock, then we gotta eat a little bit of time for the public hearing, so if you wanted to talk about it, just kind of,
No, Liberty Camp, I have brochures here for everybody. We've had it now for 7 years, both now in Lake County and in Geauga County, and a group of older people would get together and run the camp, and a good group of kids, 100 youngsters come every year. They even learn how to write their name on the Declaration of Independence. And we all care about it, and yours truly sitting here is King George III. And I scare the crap out of the kids from my throne. And I'm going to continue doing it as long as I can do it. Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity to speak for Liberty Camp.
You bet.
And then he's got the Auburn Township trustees memorial day ceremony is here until we can.
okay.
do 3 cemeteries, Auburn Township. This was up here underneath the Liberty campus, the Auburn Township trustees Memorial Day ceremony. Adam who put this up here within the Liberty campus. Is that listening?
Howard, she was asking about the Auburn Memorial Service. You're doing that also, right?
The Memorial Day ceremony?
I'll be involved in it, yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, there's lights on it.
Tanya.
Jerry.
July 12th.
And Troy.
One more. They're waiting for something. Try a couple.
How are you?
Are you allowing extra comments, questions?
What goes on now? Anything special? Oh, okay.
So I reached out to John Fletcher,
I won't tell.
and kind of to my dissatisfaction a little bit, he's kind of wavered a little bit of basically saying, that he feels that, they're getting enough money in Lake County that it would be hard for him to justify a move and to show me the money of how it would be otherwise, and so it's just a challenge to be able to have a situation that we can just break off on our own. We can't, we just can't do that.
Did you listen to the debate that, okay, so, because it seems like he kind of wavered, that the presentation was made that yes, we can. So I wish more of the county commissioners would be involved to hear the whole discussion, and it was moderated, and it was a really, as you heard, a very good discussion.
Right.
So it was kind of strange that at the end he did say that when the presentation was made, that it would behoove us to break away for both counties. So
Yeah.
I just wondered where we stood.
And it would be nice, if we could do something where we could have Geauga Lake and Ashtabula, everybody that, touches each other to be able to just form our own MPO and be able to do this,
I think that's what the idea is, so, but if we just stop halfway with going toward that,
Right.
nothing will happen.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping we could have all the counties, we really need everybody there to be represented, to all speak.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be attending one of their commissioners' meetings, and I'm going to just, ask them directly, what exactly do you feel you're going to do,
Okay.
and then just kind of put them to the test, because we could get that to do it, I would sign it today.
In the long run, it would
Yeah.
save us a lot of money, in the
Yeah.
long run. I mean, if we just keep putting money into
Yeah.
this, it's going to cost us. The
Yeah.
meeting is next week, are you going to that one?
Not that one, but the following week, I'm going to be there. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
One more.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to inquire about the conflicts between the commissioners and AEP. We framed it, I think, in our reports as an honest disagreement about authority, who has authority over IT services. And I guess what we're trying to find out, and I think the public would appreciate knowing, is what are the pathways for resolving this issue, given that we have this county government system of lateral authority, where there's no one above to sort of decide this. Other than the court system, what are the pathways for resolving? And if you can't answer, that's fine.
Well, it's communication, and we're having challenges with it.
Now, as long as we're still waiting for the hearing, I would appreciate, and I'm sure others would as well, clarification about non-conforming windows. And you know, that's a very vague term. So what constitutes a non-conforming window? And the settlement is very vague. And I think we'd all appreciate knowing what the final outcome is.
Again, it was a visual issue. As you look through them, you can see some lines in some of the windows.
Yeah, we saw those many months
So it's
ago.
not a, we've been going back and forth for about a year on this, with this, and there was actually windows that were taken out and tested to show that they were not conforming. In the discussion, it was, going back and forth with Independence Construction and their subcontractors, including down to the window manufacturer. And kind of the decision was, it's visual, you can see it in some of the some of the windows. So rather than having them, replaced and causing disruption in the operation of the building, that we chose to go with a settlement agreement of reducing.
Wait, you chose to
We chose to
do
go
what,
to a
Jerry?
settlement agreement with reducing what we were paying Independence for the windows.
Okay, so it's a total reduction, it's a reduction in the final cost to the taxpayers for this
Correct.
building. And when will there be a judgment on the final cost of that building?
I'm still working on pulling all those numbers together. There's still items that haven't been addressed, including the Board of Elections, which was this other settlement agreement that was discussed and approved earlier.
Right,
So that will include in the overall costs.
okay. We will be following, thank you.
Could I just have some information to give to the commissioners for our Thursday meeting for stepping up. If I could give this to you, Christie, and then the stepping up information.
The meeting all virtual?
Yes,
Yes.
it's 11 to 2 on Thursday. Thank you.
This is the one.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'll get that to them today.
Right, I just need to, how to get in there.
Yes.
Just to make sense.
Hello, how are you?
You want us to sign this for you? Okay. This is your thing, it's right here. It's not. Are you sure? Thank you.
find out where those fishing poles went to?
No.
No.
How are you doing?
I got a bicycle. Here we see. 16.
Yikes, been a lot.
We go up 2 blocks and go, he's getting ready. I'm like, are you supposed to be up these? No. Like, well, it's like one, what's up to do? So, yeah.
We sold these
They're really
boxes, crates, PVC pipes, poles, fishing pole, with the bottom of them. Just tangled maybe up. Tape with this cartridge. I didn't know about the rotary go. We go out that morning after fishing. I called John Ross, I said, I need 25 additional.
I wonder when they're gonna hire everybody now to make sure everything's running.
The kids get the things that go on behind the scenes. It doesn't matter, as long as the kids
There's
don't.
too much going on right now. Everything is starting in Washington DC. Sodom on the Potomac. With Biden and what's going on? We have no idea. We certainly don't. But we better be prepared for the results. They're gonna be results.
They went to Chardon.
Screwing around.
Yeah, it's funny, they're like,
If you got a 401k, it might be good to go to cash.
Pay for it.
I'm prepared, 24 hours, I can turn my money
Yeah.
around.
it was one of the volunteers like, I'm just
I didn't know why.
supposed to do that. Right.
Are you covered by are you covered by student? Well, I was covered by clinics that I finally bought out.
No, one guy, Doc's number one.
Gave me 5% for all the employees.
We were living on Bob's, we were coming out after.
What the hell else was there?
Like 5 or 6 of them, great, I said, I wouldn't stay here.
Example, Mr. Coombs, he was a teacher and an administrator. When they become an administrator, they stay on STIRS, or they go to
I had to recruit people from last year.
Is there a scuba diver you can fish for you?
But now it's changed so much, and they have all the people in Columbus. I'm on deputy retirement myself.
All right, you're opening at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Good morning. All right.
What do you expect right now?
So all of our CDBG applications were received by the close of business on April 21st. We have been awarded $284,000, with 20% of that being used for administration and fair housing. So that leaves us $227,000 to award. We've received six applications, and we are able to award 2 projects this cycle. And just on the little packet that I gave you guys, 1 and 2, I had repeated it, it's number 5 and 6, so just brought up 5 and 6. But general administration is going to come out to $41,800, and the fair housing portion of that, we're going to be using $15,000. So our first project that we have an application for is Chagrin Falls Park Community Center. It is a nonprofit organization, serves predominantly low to moderate income neighborhoods in Bay Ridge. This center offers children services free of charge, and some of these services are after-school tutoring, individual case management, food pantry, fresh garden produce, hot meals delivered to seniors, and a 6-week summer camp for children. And this year, they will be going, I believe, on Fridays to Camp Homey, Dakota. They have made a nice contact with them, and they will be getting to go there every Friday. They have requested up to $240,000 with a $219,000 CDBG funding and a $20,500 match. The roof replacement is $109,800, and the parking lot repair and repaving is $109,800. The roof is a total replacement, and parking lot is repair and repaving. And we are recommending only the roof at this time, just because we only have 2 projects to do. And they meet the national objective of LMI direct benefits, and they can verify that with income surveys. Our next project that we received an application for is Cardinal Local Schools. They have requested up to $117,400 in funding to replace concrete walkways and entrances and to make the school ADA compliant and accessible to all community members, visitors, and students. And their national objective is ADA accessibility. Next one is Chardon Township. They have requested an asphalt installation at Chardon Township Park on Auburn Road. They requested $109,800. And this would make the ball fields and pond accessible for ADA accessibility to the community. And that is the national objective also. We also received Women's Safe. They are a domestic nonviolence shelter and resource center. They have requested up to $159,800, $135,100 for rehabilitation in the facility, and $24,700 for a vehicle. And right now they have 3 projects that they have put together. One was the van, one is ADA accessibility for restrooms, kitchen, and they also sound masking. So I guess what they have is it's counseling that goes on there, and in order for it to be more private, it's like a white noise type of sound, but it can also be used as like as a 911 for if they have intruders, if they have somebody it'll be like an announcement system that can go through the whole building. So that is an extra that they have. But they have, their national objective is ADA and limited clientele. The next one is Maple Leaf Community Residences. They are a nonprofit dedicated to providing and maintaining high-quality, safe, affordable residential housing for people with disabilities. They own 21 homes, and they may have just bought another one. Did you just get another home?
We just opened our 25th.
25th. Okay, so they have 25 and one former assisted living facility. They have requested up to $158,100 with $122,900 in CDBG funding and $35,200 match to replace the roofing on 3 residential homes, and they also want to replace 17 windows at one of the same homes to increase energy efficiency. And their national objective that they meet is limited clientele. And our 6th and final project is Camp Homey Dakota. They are a nonprofit camp for children with type 1 diabetes, and programming is geared toward independence, positive lifestyle choices, friendship, and fun. They also provide the camp to other organizations such as the Blue Knights, Boy and Girl Scout Troops, Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Lions Club, Women's Safe, Metzenbaum, Department on Aging. They have requested up to $144,000 in CDBG funding to winterize and provide ADA accessibility to the bathhouse that they have that serves all of their cabins. And it'll make it a year-round camp for them. And they meet the national objective of ADA accessibility.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Since Maple Leaf is here, so the 158,000 would cover 3 roofs and 17 windows?
Yes.
So that's put, how big are these houses?
They're full-size houses, they're ranch homes, 4 bedrooms, at least 2 baths.
I mean, that's $52,000 a unit. I mean, that's, I mean, to get a roof put on a house, for 3 houses, 52,000, that's just dividing that by 3. So obviously that would include the windows, but, let's say the windows are $1,000 a piece and they'd never be $1,000 a piece. We take $17,000 out of that figure, I mean, that's,
Well, we did round up some of these. So she requested a total estimated cost of 144. She requested 109. And what we did was we rounded up 13% because what we came in with last time was all of our projects with COVID and everything going up. Everything was low.
I get that, but I'll be honest with you, I mean, I'm struggling with that number, 55, you basically look at $55,000 a house, I just can't see that being a realistic number. I mean, I think that an average home is not going to be $50,000 to put a new roof on. I mean, unless somebody disagrees with me, I mean,
is it being replaced with asphalt or metal or?
Just regular shingles, but we just didn't want it to cost us $95,000 for a total tear off.
I mean, how many quotes did you get?
That one, we were only able to get the one.
For bid. During the process, if they were chosen,
Right.
then you go through the bidding process and lowest and best and typical.
And just being,
Sure.
just totally honest with you, I could never support that because I just think that this is way, way high. I mean, based on what,
Well, on each roof, so what I'm looking at on their quotes, it's approximately $32,500 for the first house. It's on Oak Tree Trail.
for how many squares?
It is 40 squares, and it also includes new windows at $16,875
For 17 windows.
for 17
So
windows.
basically, like we had said, $1,000. And $1,000 a window, to be quite honest with you, is a lot. It is. And I just, at the end of the day, I get it, this is, what's people consider free money, but this isn't free money, somebody's paying this bill.
Okay.
And I want to support stuff, but I don't want to get taken advantage of.
Okay.
You know
I
what I
mean, we
mean?
will go out for bid, so these
Yeah.
are just the quotes that they received just to apply.
Right,
So we will go out for bid.
right, but let me ask you a question, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but like,
No, that's it.
why would we be having this presentation if we didn't have really good, solid numbers to be able to reflect on this? Because these numbers, we could have done either multiple projects, or in her case, if she's got 25 homes and they got realistic pricing, we could have roofed 7 houses.
Okay.
I'm just saying is that,
It's part of the CDB program with the state. This is
Yeah.
the requirement and part of the
I mean,
application process that
it's
we're
like
required
it's
to
either
do.
done right or it's not done at all, I have a real hard time, looking at this and not, it's like, my dad always says, if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
Sure.
So it's like, this is one of those situations that I know better, and it's like, it's,
Again, being able to bid it, legally and ethically, you'll find hopefully that the numbers will come down, and.
right, but, so I guess my question is this, so we're going to approve these numbers, or we're going to approve to move on this, and then all of a sudden we go out for real numbers then?
That is correct, and that's how the process has been done for years and years and years. It's
Yeah.
part of the application.
So when the bids come in low, what do you do with the extra money? Do you help
Well,
another
So what we did,
agency?
so.
In years past,
In the one we're doing now in fiscal year '21, we had 2 that came in under and we had 2 that came in over. So the money that we had that for the bids that were under what they were allotted, we put towards, it was $12,200, and we put that towards the two that were over. So we
So
will
it's less
try
money
to
out of their
use,
pocket,
we will try to
obviously.
use every penny of that we can.
But you had somebody that gave you an estimate, and that estimate should have been challenged right off the bat.
I have no way of challenging an estimate.
I mean, and we're basically taking one estimate, you know?
Right.
And it's like.
Just as a moving target number though, it's
Well-
really just a place card for the application process. We're gonna still bid these jobs.
I get that, but here's what I'm saying too, is let's say somebody did their due diligence on one of these other projects, and we move forward to do it we were to approve this project, you know, we're taking away from the people that did, you know, a good job of getting correct estimates, something that's more reflective, because this is kind of like, you know, we basically, let's spin a wheel and see what number comes up, and then we'll spin the wheel again and see what number comes up when we go to finalize this. It's like, I just think that if we're, approaching this, we need good numbers now, and we need good numbers, you know, then. And this is kind of just a little bit unfair to us, I'll be quite honest with you, that, you know, how do you expect us to make a good decision with bad numbers? It's not fair, you know?
One of the issues, and this is with regards to bidding and the overall process from the state and the Ohio Revised Code, if somebody provides a quote for this initial grant application, they are not permitted to bid on that project.
Correct.
And that's
So
CDBG.
to try to go out and
in the state.
get, I understand what you're saying about
Yeah.
getting more quotes, but then, you know, sometimes when you do that, you're reducing the pool that actually can bid on it down the road.
But I get that, so what they're, but I have a problem with that too, because what happens is they set a baseline, okay? Just like what we do with our projects, when the engineers go and look at a road and they go out for bids, they calculate, there's so much inches of asphalt, so much this, so much this, so much this, and they come up with the baseline of where those bids should be in to be able to do this. On something like this, somebody looks at this and they're like, you know what, instead of us like having 5 jobs this year, if we land this job, that's all we need to worry about. That's what I'm getting out of this. You know, it's like the baseline is not set realistic, because $50,000 or $55,000 a home, you know, averaged out for 3 homes, I just don't think it's fair. And I don't think that it's fair to these other projects that may have contractors that go out there and bid in a very fair manner that would probably come to you as a homeowner or me as a homeowner and quote you a price based on what the going market is.
Yeah, as a realtor and a rehab person for 30 years, I think nowadays prices, average ranch house is $20 to $25,000 a roof. I think the numbers are inflated on this particular situation.
Yeah.
Well, they could be because they, like Jerry said, they cannot use contractors that they might use for years that have good prices, because then they cannot bid.
Right.
And what we're finding through the years is they are running out of people to ask for quotes, because these people now know that they cannot bid. So
They know
you've
the
got to go
process.
outside the area, you've got, I don't know where, but you've got to go outside the area, you've got to go to people that you wouldn't normally do, or you might have to go to people that are higher, because you can't use the people that you would normally want to. And somebody that would work with you and give you a great deal, you know, and I understand your concern is now, we're gonna allot you this much money,
Right,
and we're gonna come in down here, and what do we do with the rest of that money?
right.
I do understand that concern.
Yeah, it's not fair to these other projects, because we could do other stuff with that money. We would be able to do more if
Sure.
it was done, you know, legitimately with real numbers. That's my problem.
But
It's
our
like,
problem is we have 2. And right now is we only have 2 projects, whereas before, we could have looked at all the
but why did
projects
they
and
restrict us
seen.
on that? Because you may have a small township that needs just a, you know, why,
Exactly.
like,
It's tough, it's really tough.
It's over the entire state. Anything under $300,000 granted is allowed 2 projects. Anything over $300, so they can get $600,000 and they're allotted 3 projects. So I don't know if it's to cut down on, you can focus more on 2 or 3 projects than 5 or 6. I don't know the
There was
reasoning.
no rationale given.
But it was just that came from the state that we have 2 projects.
And we had that argument with the state when they were putting out their new rules, so like, what are you trying to do? Because you're setting this up where, now you're gonna only have 2 big projects, so we're only able to help two groups of people.
That's right.
As opposed to in the past where sometimes it was 5 or 6, depending on what the projects were.
right, because in this situation, we could have helped a couple of these other people,
Absolutely.
you know? And it's like,
Absolutely, which is what we've done in years past.
You know,
We've had smaller projects and spread it out a little bit more.
But even with these 3 residential homes, I mean, is it possible when the bids do come in, we could do 5 or 6 residential homes for new roofs?
We possibly could.
Instead of 17 windows,
We possibly
do
could.
30 windows?
If we did, I mean, they've got quotes for roof and house, or roof and windows on each house. 52, 43,000, and 49,000. So that's their pricing for roofs and windows. And I don't know, we could
Depends on what the
possibly.
application allows us to do.
Right.
There could certainly be an ask
But we
that
could,
could
I
happen
mean-
if they were chosen.
Jen, would we be able to do that?
Yes.
We would be able to add more?
Yeah, you would have to still go through the environmental review process on that specific home, but because you're increasing an outcome, you'd be able to, you should be able to unless for some reason they change that rule too, but in the past, we've been able to do stuff like that.
Okay.
so let me ask you a question for Maple. Maple, do you have additional houses that you know that you have a problem with?
Yes, all of the average age of our houses are 50 years old, so there's plenty of houses and plenty to do regarding the windows and the roofs.
You know, because it's one of those things, I'd like to support your group because you guys do a lot of good outreach in this community. But do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not, just
Oh,
so you
absolutely.
understand, I'm not targeting you.
No, no, and
It's a hard pill to swallow.
And I
when you
wouldn't
say-
reach out to one of my regular contractors because then they're not gonna be allowed to bid.
Right, right.
So I reached out to somebody who we had no
Right.
history with.
And an idea, what kind of an idea of number did they give you?
The ones that.
Yeah, have you had those quoted already from other people?
From our regular
The ballpark,
contractors? No,
Yeah.
no, not until the actual.
No,
bid
not until
process is
the
done.
process is signed, sealed, and delivered, and you go for a bid.
Would you like to see the quotes, or would you?
No, we have it in this package here,
Okay.
but I just, I don't know what to do, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I know that we're not gonna make a decision today,
For sure.
but there's definitely some concerns, and you guys could, I just think that there's a level of responsibility that we have to take in making these decisions, and I don't wanna do something that is just careless like this, and it just, I get it, the process is skewed, no doubt about it, but at the end of the day, to be able to justify that kind of a number and setting a bar of, X number of dollars per household, I think we're just not doing the right thing. I just don't feel that way.
Well, the rules from the state are the rules from the state, but, I like the asterisk or the alternate of, if we could do 5 or 6 homes, new
Right.
roofs,
Absolutely
30
right.
windows,
For sure.
let the bids come in.
Yep,
You know.
makes total sense, you bet.
But I know that where you're at in the stage of this process.
Yeah, a lot of hoops come through, so, and again, time is of the essence, so, we'll be asking for a ruling, next week, next Thursday.
Okay.
So that we can meet deadline and move forward. Don't
And
wanna
if
leave
you
it all
have any
out.
questions, we would be happy if you would reach out to us.
So
and-
talk to me a little bit about this Chardon Township. Give me a little more
Yeah.
details on this project.
Okay. Their roof?
Chardon Township
Chardon
is
Township.
it's an asphalt
Oh,
project.
I'm probably sure.
Another asphalt project.
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
So this
You're
would
right.
be so that we would be able to have wheelchair accessibility to the
Correct.
parks and...
Yes, it's pretty,
and,
it's pretty destroyed currently,
Okay.
and it's obviously is a hazard.
It's
There's
just- it is.
documentation that shows, you know, what it looks like, the current condition. And
So what
again,
we have is-
it's been quoted out, that's part of the applicant's responsibility.
So what you see gravelled here would be
It's
the.
all gravel,
that
and then what they
portion.
would like to do, they would like to asphalt that whole blue area.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty nice, you know, and it's tough for these townships right now with the local government funds that everything is slashed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not in the best of shape, is it?
Yeah, it's a little-
And the Fair Board did not put anything in this year, huh?
They did not.
They had a little paving project last year,
They did.
year and a half
They
ago.
would have been, for sure.
I mean, this here, this is pretty attractive to help with this would be, and so this quote that you have here,
Yes,
this would have been,
they're asking for $98,000.
okay. And so is this susceptible to become less also?
For sure.
I mean, anything
hopes
can
that-
become less, and anything can become more, and that's where we have trouble hitting that 10% mark, and you can't be over 10% when your bids go out with your, you know, but we don't want to put the price too high, because then you get taken advantage of.
Right.
That's right.
So like on this project here, so if Chardon Township goes and gets this quoted and they get it for, so the number right now that you have.
They
is-
actually will not get it quoted. We will do the bidding
Right,
on
but I'm
it.
saying,
Write
so
the scope of the
when we
project.
do this, it's 109.
109.8, they asked for 98. We
Already
would
got
do
that.
109.8 to try to give us some wiggle room, that if asphalt prices do go up, because they went up severely at Women's Safe this last grant cycle.
Okay.
We read that no bids.
We went out for bid
and-
three times, was it, three times?
So at this point, we would be looking then at 98,000.
98,000.
And so let's say for hypothetically, if they would get a quote then for 80,000, they then would be able to have, say, $18,000 that they could put additional towards like fixing their parking spaces or something.
Because as long as
Something
it's
like that.
within the scope, it
Yeah.
can't
Okay.
be, you know, we're gonna
We can't
put
put
new
in a
toilets in.
playground or,
Yeah.
you know, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, you
If
got
it's
it.
in the same, like with them with their roofs,
Okay,
if it's in the same area of work, we
okay.
could do some extra.
Or anything to do with ADA compliance.
I don't know,
This
Jeff,
is-
yes?
And that's what this whole project is.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And
Yeah.
they have no match as well. So
Right.
there again, they have nothing to put into it, so
So-
you're gonna eat up a lot of that money, most
So to
likely.
just be clear, so for Chardon Township, it would be all around the field and all around the pond.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty nice if somebody's in a wheelchair to be able to.
Sure, be
you know,
able to go
be-
and safely
yeah.
go. Mhm.
I mean, that's a pretty nice project there. Okay.
And we can work with, every applicant has put in a letter, and I included those in your packets, that they will contribute any overages. So if we need to, if we have 98,000, if we do 120, and we're trying to hit that $227,000 mark also. But if we can do 105, you
Right.
know, towards this, then we've got 120 to go towards something else. We want to try to work to get all of our grant dollars
Okay,
out into the community.
okay.
So it's a bit of a puzzle
So in
too.
close, just so I'm clear,
Yeah,
if there was a situation then with the, you know, the Maple project,
okay,
if that happened and the bids came back and there was room to do more roofs, we're not stuck that we have to just do 3, then, right? Correct? I mean, that would be able to
correct,
be
Jen?
utilized.
Correct.
You could add in additional houses with roofs, or if the houses that you're doing need more windows, you could, as long as you're within that scope
It's
of
gotta
work,
be the
roofs
scope of work.
and/or windows, you could do that.
So with that being said then, do you have some kind of, you know, plan in place already of other ones that you know that need to be?
We have a running list, yes.
Okay,
I bet.
okay.
Yeah, Camp Lomita Code is a perfect example. because we were able to do a lot more with the monies that were allocated. The scope was the same, but we went from gas lines to electric lines to P-TEC units, got a little more bang for our buck. We were able to do some larger spaces within the camp to make them year-round. So that was a perfect example of how we distributed the
We
extra
went from
funds
Side cabins to 10 plus the art room.
from the
So we
original
followed that and
project. So it certainly can be done.
Okay.
And it's Sugar Falls Park Community Center, there's a need for that.
Sure, and they will, again, do their due diligence and provide, the income studies, and that would have to support the need. So that's a critical factor with CDBG. So those documents have to happen, we have to submit them.
And Andrea
And
said
it can't be
she's got-
hypothetical, it has to be
She's
factual.
got 100% LMI that she can provide.
Right. That's kind of like the guide, is LMI of 88.
Correct, those are the boxes you check off.
2 of them, yeah.
Mhm. Limited clientele, of course, as well.
Okay,
Were
fair
there any
enough.
other projects that you had questions on, or?
We hope not.
Just kidding. No, I'm good, let's keep going.
Bring it!
No, I mean, at the end, sometimes it's just,
It's a
questions that
lot.
have to get answered,
That's right.
But it's a lot of puzzle pieces that you
Right.
have to fit together.
Right.
It's, it's.
To try to make it all work, for
Right,
sure.
Right, and to use everything that you're giving and not waste it.
Okay. So then we won't be taking action until next week, correct? And then,
Yes.
other than that, is there any other questions in this public hearing? Sir?
Yeah, I'd like to just make a general comment.
Name, please.
Chris Lucia, Little Village. I could feel for where they're coming from with getting these bids, in Aquila Village, we've had to solicit bids for possible grant opportunities multiple times to the point where we've got people that won't come out anymore. Because, they come out and give you a quote, you gotta come up with this number to possibly get the money. I mean, these processes are extremely convoluted. I've spent a few hours in Gina and Elaine's office. They're wonderful. I really like them, but, they tell you, yeah, the project sounds great, but it doesn't qualify under this scope or that scope, and the low to moderate income, Aquila Village got the lowest property values in Geauga County, but we have too high of income. So it's just this whole community block grant thing is like a really screwy, and I talked to 2 state reps, a state senator, about going to the capital budget at the state level. There's no local funding, and you try to find these sources, and there's never any clear paths of getting any of this stuff done. Everybody I talk to, they say, yeah, this is a good project, but it doesn't fit for us. It doesn't fit over here, it doesn't fit over there. So, hopefully somebody gets some good, I'm sure you guys will make a good decision, and this money will go to a good cause. But it's really tough. And anybody that's jumping through these hoops to try and get this money, I mean, they're definitely putting a lot of work in and doing the best they can. But sometimes, when you're constrained by, government and bureaucracy, they come up with these things on paper, this is the way it's supposed to work, and it don't work like that in real life. I'm sure you guys understand that as well as I do. So I just wanted to kind of chime in on that. These grants, they're just a tough situation, and my experience at the village level, trying to chase down these opportunities, and I want to do the best I can, for where I live and for my neighbors. It's a tough and frustrating process. So hopefully, yeah, somebody gets some good out of this, but I just want to put my 2 cents in on that. Thank you.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, anybody else? So we'll close this at 10:30.
Great discussion, thank you.
Yep, thank
for your
you,
time today.
appreciate it.
If you do need anything,
Yep.
please stop
Do you want
over,
these?
call us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, give us a call if there's
Okay.
any questions or.
All right, so that closes it. Okay, nothing else? So anything, Gary? No. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.